Thank you to everybody at Akron for inviting me to your class today about practice-ready tools from Thomson Reuters. First, we started with case management, so things that you can use when you're intaking the case to get your client's information, enter it in once, and then use it later in the research process without having to duplicate a lot of effort. Also, tracking your time to avoid client billing issues and the trust fund accounting problems that plague lawyers these days. There are know-how tools from practical law to get you up to speed faster than ever before, along with oldies but goodies, drafting software, and then things to help you with proof of facts, and then key rules if you're filing in a foreign jurisdiction. Let's pull something up right now. So the website firmcentral.westlaw.com, part of Practice Ready, allows you to create new matters and new clients using these links up here along the top. You'll see that these clients match your client IDs on Westlaw. Again, another way of getting these things to talk to one another. The reason why this is great, and you can fill out some of these other matter information, some of these hourly, flat fee, and other bits of information, along with something very important, which is making sure that your research talks to your practice management software. And by that, I mean that in the connection of Firm Central, when you're uploading documents to your matter, which you can do from over here, you can see the cat's got a mouse search going on. We're uploading maybe client emails, we're uploading our retainer agreement, we're uploading our briefs. You want that to talk to your research, because eventually you will get to the point where you're reusing old work product. But in order to do that with confidence, you need to make sure that Erie, Martin, and so forth are still valid for the propositions that you cite. If the statutory authority you cite for ordering a particular thing ends up being overruled, that's going to show up red. And of course, like anything else on Westlaw, you click it, you go over into that. By the way, let's talk a little bit about some resources on Westlaw that can help you get up to speed quickly. I've been billing my time with this here meter up here, and then you can also add new timers post hoc if you don't prefer to run a timer, but rather choose to bill your time in kind of not, but after the event has happened. Practical Law, accessible through this drop-down wedge or from the law school site hitting on Practical Law, is a know-how resource that allows you to get up to speed rapidly in an area with which you might not have a lot of grounding. Let's start with labor and employment. We want to author a certain type of agreement or something is going to happen. Start with these resource types across the top and practice notes. These very general overview practice notes tell us what I need to know for, business immigration sponsorship. Okay, what do I need to know there? And that's kind of like the forest. And then there are going to be more specific resources on Practical Law that show you what the trees are. Yeah, hiring and employing foreign nationals in the U.S. overview. You can also run a search from the big blue bar, Fogo de Chao. Turns out there was an immigration decision in connection with labor and employment there. I probably didn't spell it right, but if I do Fogo here, looking across all of Practical Law, there's going to be an update from some time ago that talks about, what do I need to do to get L1B visa status? And then you can see, of course, links to the primary law on Westlaw, what the courts actually found important, and then connections to the bigger picture, which is, of course, business immigration sponsorship, employer-sponsored non-immigrant visa petitions in the U.S. These practice notes are authored by alums of the largest and most prestigious law firms and actually take you through the process and an analytical framework to actually do the thing, and then find the law that actually talks about it. Plenty of other amazing things on Practical Law, and check them out in the YouTube video because they're all over the place. Like I said, resource types, jurisdictions, as well as some of these other resources along the side that are just fantastic. What's market for your first $1 million deal? Check the YouTube for that information as well. But once we have something from Practical Law, let's go into the drafting assistant, because if you're in the world of transactional practice, you found a best practice document, you've filled it out, but guess what? What we're gonna do now is pretend that it's been messed up. You get it from the other side, run it through this deal-proof thing, you'll end up actually seeing what the open issues and other problems are. Hey, it looks like there's a defined term discrepancy because sometimes this is capitalized, sometimes it's not. You go back, And you guess what? There's a numeration error. $153.83 is not $1,583. And that tells you what that is. There's also some open issues, something that you actually didn't sign or fill out, and that needs to be something that you take care of in the recitals. Once you're done with this, download that document, make the necessary fixes, and then what do? Upload it to your thing on Firm Central. You've got your client retainer agreement. It's signed. Here it is. And now, guess what? You can pull it up with that search Firm Central. That's what I mean by getting everything to kind of talk to each other. In Westlaw or practical law, keep in mind too that you can save stuff directly into client matter folders. So if you find something that you rather like for FOGO, you want to save it into Mouser search because maybe I'm interested in importing a foreign cat to do my cat's job. You'd be able to see it there under the matters. I've got so many different keys that you didn't see it there, but you will with yours. Finally, other resources from Drafting Assistant include litigation-focused things, which I don't have time to show you on this video, but there'll be a link here in the doobly-doo, or you can just Google WestCheck on YouTube, and I'll show you that information. Lastly, a couple oldies but goodies, some resources on Westlaw to help folks who are doing criminal practice or who are interested in doing maybe pro hoc in another jurisdiction. Proof of Facts, which contains model pleadings, model discovery, model foundation, model direct, model cross. I'm just clicking on the first one, but obviously as you run searches for murder, lying in wait, murder, poison, blah, 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 you end up, like I said here, discovery so you don't get snowed out and under, pleadings that you can use to build your motion practice, a checklist here, and then again, directs and crosses if applicable. So this stuff might be handy as you end up taking this case, because you're probably not a doctor, I'm not a doctor, but this is going to help you prepare to cross-examine a doctor or prepare your client who's a doctor. Yeah? A couple other things. Key rules on Westlaw. Key rules gives you all of the federal rules of civil procedure as well as any local rules that might bear on any particular type of pleading or whatever in a particular court. I started with the U.S. federal court system. I'm still looking into that state court information here, but as you can see, checklists, analytical framework, and then references to any of the local rules. You can see here, here's a local rule. And again, you can see those from the citing references as well. It's probably referred to several times from the key rules. You can see those right there. Was I going to talk about another thing? Oh, yes, forms. So if you go over here under forms, or if you go under state materials, Ohio, and forms, or if you just type in Ohio from the big blue bar and click on it, and then go to forms, you're going to do a pour over trust. Okay, pour over will. Sorry. Shows you how much I know about decedents' estates. Sorry, folks. Pour over will, guess what? You've got residue to trust over here. This might not be the perfect one, so pull up the table of contents. You can see, hey, there's actually an entire chapter of estate planning documents, and not just the will, but probably the pour over trust and all of the, the residue that the trust gets, as well as other situations here. You can build with Doc and Form Builder if you have it, because again, because your client information is already going to be in there once, there's no need to type it in again. There's some time savings there. Otherwise, just hit easy edit. That button's going to download that version of the form. Keep in mind, August 2016 update tells you when it was last updated. So if there's any authority in here in the drafting notes that says, hey, this is something that might be a little bit interesting, see this section, you can obviously click into a trust but verify in that connection. You're accustomed to with Westlaw, saving things to folders, downloading, printing, all that is this menu over here. And if you have any questions, feel free. If you're one of my schools, follow at Lindy Hop Lawyer. You'll see my in-person availability, posts from all the other 9 schools that I teach at, as well as legal research, ephemera, and other human interest nonsense. Lastly, on the YouTubes, just look for me, and then you'll see the YouTube channel with all sorts of Westlaw walkthroughs from those classes that I'm in under the videos tab. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.